Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries, a short video today because I've been locked up with COVID, even missed the company Christmas party now, that is serious. But here's a bit of work that Bob's done while I've been holed away. So this is the end of the starter motor, that is the spacer piece that I made that stops this Bendix from coming out. Because we don't want it to do that. And the job I asked Bob to have a look at was, can you get this one-way clutch bearing to fit on the end of that splined shaft? The spline shaft was a larger diameter than the clutch bearing, and because it's a hardened shaft, it's not something you can do in a lathe. So Bob, being quite an industrial fella, sort of put his mind to it and said, yes, I know what we'll do. We'll do that job on the vintage antique grinder. The vintage antique grinder, which is a Jones and Shipman, probably from just the turn of the 19th century. Jones and Shipman actually wanted to have this in their museum for a while, and then they found a slightly better one. So there's one just like this in the Jones and Shipman museum. So yes, it's a shaft grinder or a spindle grinder. And what Bob's done is to take the little planet gears out of here, plop, like so. And then to make this attachment here with a piece of brass and drive a spindle into it, so that attachment will fit into there, just like that. You see, just like that. Just like that. And then the whole thing goes into the grinder, like this. In there we go. So the brass piece is inside there. There's the catch pin, so this shaft rotates one direction, the grinding wheel rotates the other direction, and then you just wind it backwards and forwards after you've put your cut on. Luckily, the diameter of this shaft is just ever so slightly larger than the diameter of the centre, so we were able to get it down to size, and now that one-way clutch bearing fits on there quite nicely. Like that. So this is the spacer that keeps that locked in position, and there's the one-way bearing that sits on the end of it, and I'm not quite sure I can demonstrate it operating, but trust me, it works a treat. So the last thing I need to do is to Loctite that onto the end of the shaft, put a circlip on, and design some kind of housing that goes on the outside of this bearing that holds the sprocket that drives the chain that starts the engine. Then we can put it all back together, put the little planet gears back in, and see if it'll turn the motor over. So perhaps in the next week or so I might actually get that done, and we'll know if we need to make a new head or not. But that is it for now. Not much else to update you on other than feeling a bit bleh and 2 red lines on a test. As usual, thank you for watching. More updates will follow.